New Year resolutions. Y'all know we got to talk about it. So we settled in. New Year's resolutions are trash. I got my notes, so you already know what that means. If I got these notes, that means we are about to go to school, to the school of royalty. If it was simply motivation that worked, people wouldn't need January to change. New Year resolutions don't fail because people are weak. They fail because they're built on lies, emotion, and ego. As royalty, the life of a real king is not exclusive to me. It's also including you. I want to tell you why I don't play the New Year resolution games, because that's what it is. It's a game. It's a game. It's a mental game. And I believe it is a mental game that eventually people get exhausted of. They keep on telling themselves they're going to do something, then they don't do it, and then they just forget about it or just give up. I got about 15 points I want to address. Number one, resolutions are built on emotion, not discipline. January motivation fades by February because emotions don't sustain growth. For some people, the motivation fades the very next day or the very next week. Motivation is the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. It is the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. Just because you have a desire to do something doesn't mean you will do it. And just because you do it doesn't mean you will continue it. YouTube channels don't fail because of discipline. They fail because they have motivation yet lack the discipline to continue when motivation fails. I'll be honest with you. I have been guilty of this. I'm motivated to make these videos, but then when I'm not motivated, I'm like, guess I just sit in my butt and watch this TV show. Instead of being disciplined, it takes discipline to get to the point of having your channel monetized, especially with the requirements. They want 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers, and it's not necessarily the subscribers. It's the watch hours. You have to consistently, through discipline, drop content that's going to get you in what we call the algorithm, get those views up, get those watch hours up, and then that turns into checks. So I'm not going to sit here and flex on you. I've been guilty of that, of not being disciplined the way that I need to be disciplined when it comes to this YouTube channel. But have you ever noticed how motivated people feel on January 1st, which is a few days away? But by January 15th, what happens to that gym membership? It's collecting dust. It's collecting dust. Emotion is high because it feels like a fresh start. Nothing actually changed except the date. You got no new habits, no new identity, and no new discipline. When motivation disappears, so does the resolution. Now that's what I want you to do. I want you to be honest. How many of y'all quit before February? Gym membership or whatever it may be. YouTube channel, what is it? How many of you quit before February even comes around? You got that tax money coming up, right? You saying you're gonna do this, you saying you're gonna do that, you have a resolution to do better, but when you get it, it's gone. Before you get it, it's gone. Number two, real kings don't wait on dates. If change matters, you start immediately, not when the calendar flips. If your life really needed to change, why would you wait until January 1st? If you needed to change right now, somebody told you you're going to die in a week, are you going to wait a few days before you die? Or are you going to implement the change you need to make right then so you can hopefully live longer? It sounds extreme, but I believe that we need to take on that mentality. Waiting for a date is procrastination disguised as false hope. Strong men and royal men move when we recognize truth, not when it's convenient. Pain doesn't wait for January. Watch your discipline. Think about that. Think about that. Let's say, how do I want to word this? If today was January 20th or March 20th, would you still change? If today was January 20th or March 20th, would you still change? Meaning that time has passed and you didn't stick to that resolution on the 1st. Doesn't matter if it's the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 20th, January 20th, March 20th, November 20th, December 20th, December 31st when you watch this video, or January 1st, doesn't matter. You need to make that change today. The question is, how do we do this? And we're going to get to that. But number 3 is resolutions are ego driven. And our ego is not always good for us. Most people announce goals for validation, not execution. People love telling everybody what they're about to do. I'm about to do this, I'm about to do that. But most of them don't really do what they say they're going to do. Posting on social media and different platforms, posting goals feels like progress. Announcements replace action. Validation becomes the reward instead of results. Ego wants applause before work. You notice how quiet people get when it's time to actually do the work? Most people talk a big game, but when it comes time to do the work, what happens? They get real quiet. Number 4, when it comes to New Year resolutions, they focus on outcome, not identity. You can't become disciplined by only setting a goal. You become disciplined by living like a disciplined man or disciplined woman. This is what we talk about when we talk about royalty. You don't become disciplined by saying, I want abs. I mean, I want abs too. I used to have them, but they ain't there like they used to. So I can sit here and say, I want abs, but what am I doing to get those abs? Goals focus on results, not behavior. Identity creates habits. Habits create outcomes. Saying, I'm the type of man who trains, works better than I want to lose weight. You see how that change of word changes your mentality, changes your actions, changes your behavior. By you saying, I'm the type of man who trains, instead of I want to lose weight, you see how that works better? The question I ask you is this: who do you need to become? Not what do you need to get. Who do you need to become? Not what do you need to get. I need to get in shape. No, you need to become a person that trains, because training is discipline. You can lose weight, but you can also gain it back if you don't have the discipline to keep it off and eat healthier. Number 5, most people want results without structure. No routine, no system, no accountability, just vibes. Positive vibes only, right? No schedule, no plan, just vibes. Positive vibes only, right? They got no set wake up time, no tracking of their progress, no accountability partner. That's a good one, and that's a big one. No system equals guaranteed failure. You wonder why millionaires and billionaires, people that have money, they put systems in place. There's a reason for that. Without those systems, you have basically guaranteed failure. If I asked you your daily routine, could you even explain it to me? Number 6, the calendar didn't make you lazy. The calendar did not make you lazy. January didn't change your habits, you did. January didn't make you disciplined, and December didn't make you lazy. People blame the year instead of their habits. Same days in the year, same job that you hate, same excuses equals the same results in the same situations. If you hate your job, if you really hate your job that much, why aren't you doing something to transition or pivot from working this job that you say you hate? You must don't hate it that much. Because if you did, then you would be making moves. Now, there's this notion that you have to make this great move at one time. We're going to get to that. Growth doesn't come from a new number on the calendar. The seasons change from winter to spring, and the plants grow. The whole time it was cold, they were preparing for the spring season. It's not as if the plants aren't doing anything. The plants are still doing something. They are preparing themselves for the spring season to show out and shine. When the number changes on the calendar, it shows what time it is, what season it is. But no matter the season, you have been doing what you are supposed to be doing. Doesn't matter what season it is, you are ready for whatever season because you have been doing what you are supposed to be doing. I ask you this question. What habit did you blame on the year instead of taking responsibility for? What habit did you blame on the year instead of taking responsibility for? Number 7, resolutions ignore root causes. People say I go to the gym instead of asking why they quit in the first place. People say I'm going to hit the gym, but never ask why they stopped. Burnout, poor sleep, bad diet, no purpose, mental exhaustion, fixing symptoms instead of causes guarantees relapse. They do this a lot when it comes to the, when you go to that building when you're sick. I ain't gonna say, they be flagging stuff. They're not addressing the causes. They are looking at the symptoms. They're trying to fix the symptoms instead of the cause, because they want you to keep on coming back and buying a little pills and stuff like that. I ask you another question. Why did you quit last time? And be real about why you quit. Number 8. This is a good one. Motivation is a trap. Say what? Man, motivated, this and that. What happens when motivation runs out? Motivation is a trap. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline shows up regardless. Because discipline is a behavior. Discipline is a lifestyle. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline shows up regardless. Motivation feels good. Discipline feels boring. And you know how people hate to be bored. Motivation is sexy and it's exciting. You're motivated to do something. Hoorah, hoorah. You motivated for the game, and then what happens? Your favorite team loses because they jumped offside. Why? Old buddy wasn't disciplined. He didn't train when he was supposed to train, knowing that he was going to be in this situation and cost his team the championship. I'm just saying. Discipline is like picking boring ETFs on the stock market that consistently pay dividends year in and year out. They're not sexy, they're not exciting, but they sure pay the bills. They sure pay the bills though, don't they? Motivation shows up when life is easy. Discipline shows up when life is heavy. Motivation shows up when life is easy. Discipline shows up when life is heavy. Oh yeah, we getting that real school, the school of royalty knowledge, ain't we? Kings don't wait, or queens if y'all listening in. Kings don't wait. Royalty doesn't wait to feel like doing what needs to be done. We get it done through discipline. Motivation helps, but our core, our foundation is discipline. Ask you another question. What do you still do even when you don't feel like it? What do you do? What do you still do even when you don't feel like it? Apply that to everything else. Number 9, resolutions are temporary by design. Yup. If it only lasts a year, it was never a lifestyle. If it only lasts a year, it was never real. You want something that is sustainable. Real change becomes lifestyle. Temporary effort produces temporary results. Kings build habits meant to last decades that end up going to our children, to the people around us, to our children's children, and so on and so on and so on and so on. Our friends, our family, and so on and so on and so on. Why? Because royalty build habits meant to last decades. Ask you another question. Is what you're working on built for next month or next decade? Do you want your money to last until next month, or do you want to be disciplined with your money that it grows where it lasts the next decade and the next decade, the next decade, and maybe even lifetimes after you? Motivation ain't gonna get you there. Motivation will help, but it's gonna take discipline. Number 10, most resolutions are too big and vague. People say, I want to change my life, but don't change their mornings. People say they want to change their life, but they don't change how to eat. People say they want to change their life, but they don't even change their drawers like they're supposed to. Yeah, you got people out there like that. Y'all know who they is. I want to change my life is not a plan. You can say that, but you need a plan to go with what you're saying. They have, when it comes to New Year resolutions and people in general, because most resolutions are too big and vague, they have no daily actions, no measurable steps, no deadlines, no sense of urgency, no clarity. What I've come to realize is small, boring, repeatable actions win. Small, boring, repeatable actions win. Let me give you something simple. Something small is you wake up, you brush your teeth. You gargle, you floss, whatever it is you do. That's boring. It's repeatable, but it beats not brushing your teeth and taking care of your dental hygiene. It's small, it's boring, but those repeatable actions win in the long term. Why? Because you reduce the amount of problems you're going to have in comparison to somebody that's not going to brush their teeth, that's not going to floss, not going to take that time to be disciplined to take care of themselves in that regard. And you can apply that to anything that is applicable in your life. What's one small habit you could actually start today? What is one small habit you can start today? If you could start it today, then when are you going to start it? Come on now. Come on now. Number 11. When it comes to New Year resolutions, it has people avoiding accountability. People aren't tracking progress. They just hope with the false hope that it works. True hope is followed by action. In the same way a farmer hopes for crops. Does he just sit around and hope, or does he put the work in? If he just sat around, then what is that? That's false hope. He is hoping for a specific yield. But if he doesn't do anything, yet hopes for a specific yield, when he hasn't tilled the ground, he hasn't researched how to get a greater yield, he hasn't watered a plant, he ain't done nothing. That's false hope. True hope is followed up by action. You playing basketball, you want to drop 20. Okay, you drop 18 that game. You know you can get to that 20. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't even take the shots, if you don't put the work in to make the shots, where you gonna be at? You want to win the lottery, but then you don't even play the lottery. I mean, that's another one. The reality is, the reason it avoids accountability when it comes to New Year resolutions is nobody checks themselves. You have no progress tracking, no consequences. You can put consequences on yourself to get things done. No review to see where you stand at. No self-honesty. Accountability removes excuses. So I ask you another question. Who actually holds you accountable? Or do you avoid that? Number 12. Social media has turned growth into performance. Posting goals feels like progress, but it's not. Posting goals feels like progress, but it is not. People record workouts they won't repeat. Cameras replace consistency. Likes replace discipline. And growth becomes content instead of character. That's some deep ones right there too. The cameras have replaced the consistency. If the cameras ain't there, then they're not going to be consistent because they want people to see them. The likes have replaced discipline. If people ain't liking it, then I ain't going to do it. I can't make it without y'all. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not going to make it without y'all, because I'm going to keep on posting my content because it's a part of my character in regards to what I'm building. Rather you watch or you don't, because eventually somebody's going to watch and somebody's going to see the value in what I'm providing. I'm not doing it for the likes. I'm doing it because I'm disciplined. I have a plan with what I'm striving to accomplish when it comes to this whole YouTube thing. I'm going to get a house out of YouTube. You may say, well, that's just one house. If I can get one house, I can get two houses. If I can get one house, I can get three houses. If I get one house from YouTube, I can get 10 houses. Because I can get one house. Let's say I make enough money with YouTube, or when I make enough money with YouTube, and I have made enough money to build a house from the ground up, because I own land, and we're going to be buying more land. I use the YouTube money to do that. Now I could sell that property, rent it out, let's say sell it for a profit. Sell it for a profit, what do I get back? I get my initial money. Then I go do it again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Are you building, or are you just posting? Are you building, or are you just posting? Number 13. Real growth is quiet. Kings, queens, royalty, princesses build in silence The noise is for the spectators. The noise is for the spectators. The loudest people are usually the least consistent. I know I can attest to that, thinking about the different people in my life that were the loudest. Come to find out, they really weren't doing nothing. Can you say that for the same people in your life or the people that you've been around? That the loudest people are usually the least consistent. Quiet men or women are busy working. Noise is often insecurity. Kings or queens don't broadcast every single move. We get it done. We say move in silence. What are you working on quietly right now? What are you working on quietly right now? You can put it in the comment section, or you can just ask that question to yourself and answer it to yourself. Number 14, consistency beats intensity. Think about that. Man, I went hard at the gym. I went hard in this workout. You went hard one time. It's not always about that, because eventually you probably won't get burnt out. Consistency beats intensity. Small daily wins destroy big January promises. You don't need to go hard, you need to go often. I think I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Go hard or go home? No. Go often or go home. Go often or don't even come. I don't know, something like that. Daily walks beats one extreme workout. Reading 10 minutes a day beats quitting after 3 days because you read one book and you feel, I read a whole book, and then you never read nothing really for the rest of the year. Small wins compound, just like your money on the stock market. Over time compounds. Think about that. When you study finances, one of the main things you're gonna come across, in regards to when that wealth starts to build after really $100,000, is what? Compound interest. Small amounts that grow and grow and grow and grow, and then it takes off. It isn't that you drop 100K on the stock market at one time. It is the fact that you consistently put money into your investment account through discipline, and it compounded with compound interest over time, even if you started out with $5 a day. Think about that coffee you go to get, or whatever it is that you spend money on every single day, yet you won't put no money into the investment account, even if it's just a little bit. You don't have to have what everybody else has. It will grow. Trust me, I'm just learning about it in the last few years. I wish I would have known 20 years ago. I wish my parents would have set me up a investment account, and then when I got to a certain age, because they taught me, they handed it over to me, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna keep on letting it grow. Man, I would be a multi-millionaire right now. I ain't talking about low either, I'm talking about highs. Now, you know better, you do better. So I'm doing better for myself, therefore I can do better for my children. Set them up investment accounts, and then when they get to a certain age, here you go. But before they even get it, they're gonna get that education. They're gonna get that knowledge, they're gonna get that wisdom, and they're gonna get that understanding. And all my children are young. So just imagine when they 20, 25, and they got their own business and a investment account that we've been putting into all these years. All my children, I got 4 of them. 4 of them. 4 of them. So again, small wins compound. Same way with the stock market. Ask you another question. What is one small thing you can do every single day? How about putting that $5 in your investment account? ETFs. You don't have to invest in a specific stock. You can do an ETF. Number 15. Real kings or queens, but we know we're speaking most to the kings, right? Most of my audience is men. Real kings live by principles, not resolutions. A man with principles doesn't need a new year. He already knows who he is. The reason why you're not living the way and doing the things you want to do is because you don't know who you are. You are confused about who you are. When you're confused, there's no clear vision. There's no clear structure. There's no clear plan. There's no clear goals. There's no clear boom, 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 boom. You discombobulated, like, I don't know if I go left or right, because you don't know who you are. A man with principles doesn't need January. He doesn't revolve around January. He doesn't revolve around New Year resolutions. January, New Year resolutions revolve around him. The year revolves around him or her. You see what I'm saying? Some deep stuff right there. Principles guide decisions automatically. Identity removes negotiation. When you know who you are, what you're about, ain't no negotiation in regards to you compromising. This is what it is. This is where we're going to go. This is what we're doing. And this trickles down to your relationships, your finances, and everything. Kings or queens don't chase motivation. We live by standards. But make sure you're actually living by the standards you're professing. If you had to name one principle you live by, what is it? What is the one principle you live by? What are principles that you can implement into your life to get where you desire to be in regards to becoming who you need to be? I leave you with this closing thought. New Year resolutions aren't trash because people are weak. They're trash because they're built on emotion instead of identity and discipline. Real kings, real queens, real royalty. We move different. We think different. We sleep different. We eat different. Everything we do is different. And people are discombobulated while we're moving, and while we're able to do the things that we do. And they don't understand it. There you have it. They're trash. Throw them in the trash where they belong. In the same way, if there's something foul in your house that stinks, what do? You get rid of it because it stinks. I want you to do that. I want you to become who you're supposed to become. I want you to walk in the royalty that God, the Most High, made you to walk in. But you can't do it if you keep on holding on to your old identity. Y'all have a blessed one. I love y'all. I'm out.